Hey, hello everyone. I'm really happy to be here. This is my really good trip to Copenhagen. I'm a Finnish guy, lost in Copenhagen for the rest of the night, I guess. And I'd like to thank IBM for inviting me here to talk about real-time data with a VaadinDrone in Bluemix. And actually, that's one thing I want to thank IBM for, but mostly I want to thank IBM because they're giving out the Parrot drone after my talk. So I still have some audience left here. Being the last speaker, always nice. Anyways, actually the prize that you guys are competing about is pretty much the same model that I'm going to fly here. So everything I do here, you can do the same if you win it. So it's pretty fun. Anyways, so let's get started with the whole thing. So my purpose here is solely on demystifying things. Okay, there's a lot of buzz going on about cloud and technologies, Internet of Things, and everything. So I just came here and tried to demystify the whole thing. And before I go any further, so how was it? How many of you are not developers? Few hands, the smart people. Good, awesome. Yeah. So how many of you have actually done anything related to Internet of Things? Few lost souls. All right. Okay, just to get an idea. What's going on. So this is for you guys. Participate. The relevant Twitter handles for this presentation and also the one that mentioned on the floor. So tell us what you think, okay? All right. So what are we going to talk about today? So real-time data with drones, of course. That's the first part. But the second part is Bluemix. You've been hearing about that pretty much. So let's make this straight as well. I don't work for IBM. I was invited here. I'm a business partner of IBM. I work for Vaadin. You're going to hear a lot about Vaadin, before I actually end here. And lastly, we're going to talk about dashboard UIs with Vaadin, of course. So I'm going to show you the building blocks of getting some data from somewhere, putting that to an IoT cloud thingy, and then show that to the world. And you get to participate at the end as well. All right. So let's start with the real-time data first. So what is real-time data, of course? So there's different kind of ways to put it. Some processes you want to monitor, of course, or you got some sensors, you want to detect frauds. Well, the common thing for this is that you have some kind of a source of data, right? It's tracking all the time, and you have to sample that and put that out somewhere. That's the same thing. So basically, what you guys see here today is relevant for all of these cases, for example. It's the same thing. There's no magic in it. But our little business process or a factory process we are monitoring is the drone. So a few words about drones. How many of you have actually flown one? Quite a few. So I guess you guys know, this by heart as well. In the description of my talk was that there's two clowns on the stage. So I'm probably the nice clown and that's the evil one. So if we're talking about pets, dogs are really loyal. If you say to a dog that, hey, jump from the bridge, it's like, woof, and it went. If you say to a cat, hey, come here, it's maybe. Drones are cats, okay? Let's make this straight. When programming with these, drones are cats, remember that. So when I start flying with this thing, and if you happen to get a haircut, I charge only $20 on that, so keep that in mind. Well, not exactly. You can keep the haircut. Yeah. Okay, but there's quite a lot of moving parts, but this could be interesting. All right. So the building blocks for the whole thing. Surprise, surprise. We start from the drone. All right. But what next? So we're gonna have a Wi-Fi connection through UDP to a data gathering app that is running on my laptop here. Okay, my laptop is connected with a Wi-Fi to the drone that is actually a Wi-Fi station itself. All right, so there's a data stream going in, and I have my app on my machine here where I sample the data. Like I said, there's always a sensor somewhere. You need to sample the data. So that's the place where I just take in 2 readings in a second. That's what I do. All right, and the app that I'm using, it's not done by me. I found it online. Awesome. So it's the yet another drone app. I think this is a German guys did this. It's open source. You can download it. It's a Java app, and it basically has the full API of this drone, offers you. So the API for the drone is open, and this app has all the APIs for it. So I took it in, made a little fork, add my little magic in there to do the sampling, and that was pretty much all I had to do. So let's see this in action. So the first part, here I have my Eclipse, Java guy, surprise, surprise. So this app is here in my Eclipse. So I just fire up this yet another drone control center app, so we can see that in a minute. Now, and then we get the keyboard control. Here we have it. So basically this is how you fly the thing. This is pretty much it. So let's see if I can get something up. So let's do a takeoff. And it almost escaped. Here we are. So the sampling and the raw data, okay? So this is what we are getting. This is what I'm sampling. There's the battery levels, there's the altitude, there's the movement or kind of the orientation of the drone. So this is sampled twice a second. So that's the raw data, all right? So this is the source of the whole thing. Almost going. All right, let's try to take it back. Yeah, kind of. Kind of okay. Yes, come here. All right. Okay. Okay, this is the stuff that is running on my machine, okay? So I have the data source, I sample the data, and here you can see the data stream. That's my real-time data. Okay, so the IoT thing and the cloud thing, what next? Let's go forward. Back to slides. Next thing, Bluemix. So Bluemix has been here for quite a few times, but what Bluemix is actually for me, for us, guy that actually wants to play around with a drone, well, where do I put up, something that actually could take in my data, so that it's secure or all the ports and channels are open to make sure that it's all there. Everything is kind of configured for me. So here is the part that Bluemix comes into play, and it really helps me out. So what I'm using from Bluemix is the Internet of Things Foundation. So actually, in the first talk this morning, it pretty much ended where there was a statement that you should probably use MQTT. So this is where I continue, all right? So I'm using MQTT for the messaging, originally invented by IBM as well, the whole thing. But Internet of Things, what it is, it's basically a broker, message broker, all right? Simple stuff. It's somewhere in the cloud, somewhere in the internet. I put up a server, and that thing makes sure that all the SSL connections or just plain HTTP or whatever, it's there. I can access it from anywhere. That's what it does. Simple thing. And how do I connect to this whole thing? So here comes the actual device and the data, all right? So what I do here, I connect to this broker from the data source, and I say that, okay, I'm starting to publish data to a topic. It's just a topic, whatever text it is. I'm just publishing data to that. It goes to the broker, and everybody's happy. But of course, there has to be someone subscribing to the same topic to actually get the data as well. So this is how the IoT MQTT broker service works. And it's not only Bluemix, it's pretty much all the mosquitoes or whatever IoT brokers you might find. This is how it works. All right, so building blocks. Let's continue with this one. What happens after this? So the data gathering up is the one that you saw. I'm sampling the data there. So I'm going to publish MQTT messages to IoT Foundation that is running in IBM Bluemix, in this case in Dallas. All right. So I'm a Java guy. How do I actually use this MQTT? It's basically technology agnostic. So you can use it pretty much with any language. So a Java guy's tool is Eclipse Paho. Okay, it's the Java API for this whole thing. So this is the only code snippet I'm going to show you guys. If you want to see some source code afterwards, come and talk to me. I can show all of it, but I'm not going to bore you with any more of this stuff. But it can't really get any more simple than this one. You create the client, say where this broker is actually located, and what is your client ID, whatever it is. You have some connection options. You connect to this client, and then you start publishing. I'm here publishing to some topic, just a string, my message. So this is what is needed. That's the only thing that's needed from a Java guy. And I love it. It's so simple. And the other part, I just implement a callback, set what it is, then I subscribe to some other topic, and then I get method calls when someone actually gives the data there. So this is the mechanism. Simple? Yes? No? Well, no one is sleeping at least, so it's good. All right. Now, next step. Let's go. Let's see how this data actually goes to the cloud. All right, let's put this up again. Let's reset. Okay, steady, steady. Somewhat steady. All right. So this is the data stream, as you saw. But now, when I go to my Bluemix dashboard, in a sense, you saw the Bluemix dashboard. That's pretty much the place where everything starts. All right. So this is where all developers go. Here is my dashboard. If it loads. Any day now. All right. So I have here a service, the Internet of Things service. So this is the broker. I'll show you guys how the data is coming in here. Yeah, like I said, the haircut is pretty close already. Now, all right. Yeah, it's drifting a bit, so checking the scenes. So now we are actually in the Bluemix Internet of Things Foundation. And you can see the data is coming in here as well. Maybe I rescue you guys. Okay, I'll put a landing on that, so get out of the way. Yeah. Okay. Awesome. Awesome. Like I said, they are not dogs. Yeah. Anyway, so here is the data that is coming actually in to the Internet Foundation, the IoT. So here is the same stuff that you actually saw on the console. So what I had to do on the app itself here, I just have this little snippet of code that I showed you guys. I publish just JSON data to a topic. And here it is. Now the data is going there. It's already going to the cloud. So basically, the good thing here is that when you create this thing, is that you get all the addresses and everything just for you. You don't have to kind of figure out how to put things to the internet that it actually would work. Let me show you that as well. Where is it? No, it should be here somewhere. Well, probably it's the same place. Yeah, but this is pretty clear, the whole thing. You add devices here, just a new device. What's a device type? What's your ID? And you get the relevant keys to that. And when you start actually reading the data and doing something about that, you just create new API keys here. When you do that, you get the authorization pairs for a app. And when you just put them in to these connection options that you saw earlier, it just works. That's why I find this really helpful for the purpose. All right. Any questions at this point? Yeah.
My son, they're shooting a movie about zombies.
Okay, awesome.
If you use that for movie production, how hard it is to program a trajectory, a line to move, keeping you in the center of the scene and run or fly around you? Is it hard to set a line?
I guess with some simple maths, it's just programming. Yeah, the API for the drone with this app that I'm using, you can basically do anything with it. I haven't seen such a tool, but I'm just using the programmed ones. But I guess there might be some more cool things as well. That actually sounds like something that there could be an iOS app for that or something like that. Yeah.
I had a question. When you logged in all the data in the Bluemix, are you actually able to query it? And like to what level are you able to query it? Or is it just stored and you get what are the querying options? Because normally with similar products from other guys, the problem is that they always offer just primary index, and unless you know exactly what your key is, you can't really search for any super arbitrary data. Now with Mongo, for example, they finally have they have secondary indexes, right? So then if you're not really sure, you can add something and eventually start to see how to get complex things out of it. But you can do that, for example, or couldn't do it a long time ago, AWS.
Yeah, well, I think the level that I'm talking here is monitoring real-time events. So basically meaning that if I miss an event 2 seconds ago, it doesn't matter. But anyways, this is kind of the entry level. You have to have this one before you can look into the historical stuff. So what I would probably do, I would just hook up another listener for the data, and actually that would dump the data to a MongoDB or whatever, and then you can work on top of that again. So this kind of solves the problem to actually get the data from the drone, from this room to Dallas, I would say. So that's kind of the idea. All right. Okay. Let's get the cat back. All right. So next up is to actually visualize the data. So this is where the company I represent, Vaadin, comes into play. So how many of you have actually heard about Vaadin before? Few hands. Few hands. Awesome. The best audience probably is this audience where no one has heard of it. So all good so far. Well, Vaadin is from Finland, a Finnish word meaning a female reindeer, naturally. But most of all, what is it for Java guys? It's an API for web apps. All right. It's a framework for Java developers to build amazing web apps with only Java. That's what we try to accomplish. So what this is, there was actually some talk about Lego bricks some time ago. So it's basically a bag of Legos. All right. We provide you the Legos. And these, you just can take components from the Lego bag and they all fit together and you can build whatever you need and you get a web app. That's the idea. And the good part is here that we try to keep Java guys out of trouble. So basically with one Java implementation, you get support for all of the mainstream browsers, for example. I wouldn't survive with old Internet Explorers for a day without, something like this. I'm not a front-end guy at all. And also, you can get mobile browser support. That's cool. So something about Vaadin. We've been around for over 10 years already. The ecosystem is pretty nice at the moment. We estimate that we have 130,000 developers using Vaadin for different purposes all around the world at the moment. And it's Apache licensed, open source, business liberal, free to use it. And most of all, almost half of the Fortune 100 companies are using Vaadin for something already. And the important thing here to understand is that Vaadin is designed for web applications. People are building business apps with this stuff, or dashboards, or some utilities, administrative things. If I ever catch any of you guys building your homepage with Vaadin, I will take you guys behind the sauna. You know the Finnish, the Finnish tradition. That's what I'm gonna do. Doesn't make any sense, okay? I can talk for days about this, choose the right framework. So if you want to talk about that, talk with me later. But use the right tool for the right purpose. Vaadin is for web apps, period. All right. And also, of course, there's a boilerplate in Bluemix. Ta-da! So you can just get a starting point to build your systems with Vaadin on top of Bluemix. But what we concentrate on is a couple of things. Develop the productivity and rich user experience. This is what we are trying to accomplish. So if we talk about developer productivity, Vaadin is server-side Java. No JavaScript, no client-side stuff. It's only server-side stuff, okay? Others that have a purpose and they fit to their own purpose really well, they have different things. You have to do a lot of more layers for your app to get something on the screen. Different purpose here. So, this actually leads great productivity boost. So this is what we try to do. The baseline of your technology when you build a web app is productive, okay? And then when you want to do something crazy, go out there and use raw JavaScript for that. It's okay, but not the other way around. All right. So how does this work actually? So here's an example. If I want to build this app like this one, okay? Text field and a button. This is the source code I actually have to write for that. All Java. This is Vaadin programming. All right. Couple of components. I add them to a layout, and then I declare a listener. If someone actually goes and clicks the button, this gets called. So what happens when someone goes to the page where this application is running? This is what happens. All the initial resources are loaded, around 130K or something to the browser. It's a bunch of JavaScript, and this gets rendered on the screen, okay? Someone goes there and writes a name and clicks the greet button. There's an AJAX call going back to the server with only the things that changed, all right? And Vaadin makes sure that this piece of code gets called when this happens. And here we actually just show a notification on the screen with the value that was entered. So the response is just to add a notification on the screen, and that happens. So this is the idea of how Vaadin works. All right. So the user experience side. So if you start using Vaadin for something, so this kind of stuff you would actually expect. So this is pretty typical dashboard-ish app. One of our examples. Single page apps, not a home page really. You do your thing with it. That's the idea, okay? And the thing that I like it is the components are pretty complex actually in the sense that, for example, the table has a lazy loading feature already built in. I would have no idea how to do that in raw JavaScript, seriously. I'm a Java guy, but I can still do things like this for web. So that's our thinking of the whole thing. Drag and dropping and all kinds of stuff, of course, supported. And also the same app on an iPad works as the same. Now I can do mobile apps as well. Awesome.
Question, is there actually nothing you need to do in order to maybe adaptive or
Well, of course, the mobile friendly has two aspects: the technical side, whether it works at all, and whether it's user friendly.
Okay.
So it's a different story to build a great user a web app with great usability for desktop browsers. You use your mouse, you can do different things. But when you do it for the mobile, you have to do quite a lot of different things to get the finger friendly UI. So probably using different components and everything, but technically you can do that. All right. Of course, the default components are not enough. You can use components from the community. Already over 500 components, various things. One example is one of our own, actually, the spreadsheet. Just put an Excel file to the web and it works as is. If you just need it, you can use that. Just an example. And also the styling thing. This is really powerful. Again, a Java guy likes this stuff. We have a button, yes. You saw that already, the source code level. It was just a button. But how it actually looks like is declared in our theming engine. So that's basically a CSS base, but we use Sass for that. You guys have, how many of you have actually used Sass or know what Sass is? Quite many. Awesome. Check that out. It's not Vaadin related anyway. We just use it. It's awesome. So basically you can program your CSS files. So really powerful. So how we use it, if this is your default look and feel and your boss doesn't like it, you can change the variables in our theming engine and you pretty much get everything changed for you. So we take the base color of your app and darken that 20% to get the border colors and things like that so that it drives through all the components. So help you guys out again. But let's continue this side. Now you know everything about Vaadin. My job here is done. So next thing is the subscribe. So now I actually have a Vaadin app, just a web app, technically a servlet deployed to Bluemix that is subscribing to the same topic where the data is coming in. And then I just give that to my app and my charts via server push. So true server push like WebSockets or long polling or something like that. So that's what's going on. So let's see that in action, how that looks like. Okay, let's reset the beast. Probably drifting again towards the exit. All right. Yeah, but here you have the same thing. The Vaadin app running in Dallas, gathering the data. You can see the battery there. You can see the orientation thing. So if I give there an extra command to the drone, let's take a bit more height to it. There. Yeah, we can see some movement there. Come down, please. Almost escaped again. Yeah. All right. Pretty much okay. I'm pretty satisfied. Normally there's already 3 bold guys in the room. Yeah. So far so good. Yeah. But anyways, the tracking continues. So this whole thing is like I said, running in Dallas, and the MQTT stuff is really fast. I think it's surprisingly fast. So really lightweight and fast technology. Try that out. Yeah.
What's the sample rate of the height measurement?
Sorry?
What is the sample rate of the height measurements?
The
How often do
sample
you
rate-
measure the height, the level above
Yeah.
ground?
What is it? It's
Yeah, I can see you can check the height above ground.
yeah.
How often do you do that?
That's the case where I sample the data. So basically, the data stream that is coming from the drone to the laptop is constant. It's twice a second. Yeah. So there's the sensors there, but they are not that accurate. So if there's a kind of a carpet on the floor or something, it goes haywire pretty much. All right. Okay. This is here, but I think this is the most interesting thing. So how about two-way? So Internet of Things by nature is of course gathering data, but also giving commands back to the devices, right? So how do you do that? So what I have actually done here is that I have it two ways, okay? So I'm sending data, but I can also send commands. So the web app here that was deployed, I can send commands kind of to the command topic in a sense. It can be anything. And just text. And it goes through the whole IoT Foundation, and it goes back to my laptop and goes back to the drone. So take out your mobile phones and go to this address. Don't do anything yet, I'll explain. Go to this address. You'll go to the same web app that is actually running in the cloud in Dallas, and you can type in your Twitter handle and click the blink button. What it actually does, the drone gives you a tweet, and there goes an MQTT message all the way back to this room, to the drone, and if it's successful, it blinks the lights. All right, let's see if we can pull this off. So if you can see the linking plights, someone actually did something correctly. So let's let's put this airborne. Just a second. All right. Hey, there is some blinking tongue going on. Yay! We made it. Awesome. So I think this should be celebrated, right? Hey! Awesome. So what we have here? So we have the VaadinDrone, Twitter, Snioka. Who is Snioka? There is Snioka. Awesome. And we got, I don't know what that is. F. Kraus somewhere there. Awesome. Beautiful. Beautiful. let's flip it again. Let's take it a bit lower, okay? Come down, please. Come down, please. Let's see. I land it first, okay? Just in case. So take a catch. There we go. Now there's basically, if you tilt it like that, there's an emergency switch. So it stalls, it dies. All right. Okay. So what was the question? Another somersault? Yeah. All right. Anyways, I think the all the things that was covered, I needed to cover is done. That's pretty much the story I had. Any questions at this point? How high it can go? Yeah, I can give you an example from my colleague. He had a smaller drone, and they were flying it at his backyard, and his friend went, "Well, how far it can go?" I don't know. Let's try that. Damn it. Yeah, he never saw it again. So be careful. Be careful. All right, let's do a last somersault for the whole thing, and then we end. All right. Are you taking in orders? Hey, there we are. Thank you.